Cindy, you want to read her bio if anybody...
Okay. Oh boy. So, Laura, is it Roesch? Roesch was appointed in 2009 as the Executive Director for the Catholic Social Services of the Miami Valley. Initials for that is CSSMV, a nonprofit agency that provides services in the greater Dayton region, including 8 counties, that's awesome, and West Central Ohio. I'm going to fail miserably. I'm going to say Laura has worked for CSSMV for over 20 years in various capacities. She previously served as the CSSMV Manager of Special Projects, Adoption, Foster Care, and Pregnancy Counseling. In that role, she's led efforts to expand adoption services and provided leadership for a statewide adoption education program for professionals. She later worked in the agency's marketing and development department, assisting with development of grants and funding sources to expand agency facilities and programming to help at-risk families and seniors through home visiting and outreach social services. In 2014, Laura was appointed to serve as a 3-year term on the Executive Committee of the Council of Diocesan Directors for Catholic Charities USA, CCUSA. The Executive Committee helps provide input on priorities for the national leadership, arranges meaningful information and support of new and existing local agencies directors, and helps assure continuous improvement in the Catholic Charities Network provision of quality social services to those in need. Laura is a graduate of Bowling Green State University, with a Bachelor in Science and Health and Human Services, a master's degree in Rehabilitation Counseling. She is a licensed social worker and a licensed professional counselor. In addition to her work at CSSMV, Laura has served on the Homeless Solutions Policy Board. Awesome.
Okay, you have 6 minutes left. I'm only kidding.
Thank you for the very kind introduction. Thank you, Sheriff Plummer, Tony, for your warm welcome, and everyone. It's really a pleasure to be with you all today. Share a little bit about Catholic Social Services and our work in the community. As already shared, we are a social services and early childhood education provider since 1921. We serve residents of 8 counties, Greater Dayton, and then Dark, Auglaize, Mercer, Miami, and Shelby. So Greater Dayton, and then to the north. We have an array of social service and early childhood education programs that we're happy to summarize for you. The most important number that I would like you to know is that last year we served over 24,000 people in our community. We have a staff of 114, fantastic, hardworking counselors, social workers, nurses, teachers, and all the support kind of staff positions that are necessary for an organization of our size. And we have 350 very dedicated volunteers who help bring our mission to life every day. So it's a pleasure to be here with you. I'm happy to receive questions at the end, but I will kind of give a quick overview about the agency and draw your attention first to the materials at your seats. There's an annual report for your review that will provide some greater information about numbers and our budget, our board members, and then there's also programmatic summary. It's a 2-page sheet that gives a little bit of information about each program that we have available, and there's also an event coming up for anybody who's interested in golf. So I wanted to share that as well. But a quick tour of Catholic Social Services. I should say first, I've been with the agency for 26 years. So only 6 years in my current role as executive director, but I've been with the agency for 26 years, straight out of graduate school. It's a privilege to work there. I really love the organization. The mission of the agency is timeless, and that is to love and to serve our neighbors in need through acts of faith, service, and charity. That is timeless. How we bring that mission to life, it really depends on the needs of the community and the support that's available to do the kinds of work that is needed for a good overall quality of life. So Catholic Social Services has 4 sites of service. Our first one that I should mention is on the grounds of the VA on West 3rd Street, Veterans Administration. We have an early childhood education program. On the grounds of the VA, the corner of Ohio and Kentucky Street, we have 140 of the cutest, smartest kids you've ever seen. We are NACE accredited, which is National Association for the Education of Young Children. We're a 4-star step up to quality provider. And those two high quality indicators, should tell you, and I hope do tell you, that's a very high quality program in terms of an educational environment. Our goal is to have the kids ready for school when they're ready to go so that they can be successful in school. We agree with all the people who are working on education in the community that's important to get a child off to a good start in life and have them be ready for school. We wrap around a lot of family support services for the families because it's primarily a low-income, single-parent population primarily who are bringing their kids to the center, and it's an excellent, excellent environment. We have an office on Brown Street called the Center for Families. It's between the University of Dayton and Miami Valley Hospital, just south of the corner of Wyoming and Brown, right next to the newly renovated Taco Bell, for those of you who know. In our Center for Families, and we've been in that building since 2006. We have refugee resettlement services. We have parenting education. We have pregnancy support. We have adoption. We have a supervised visitation center. We have some home-based services for seniors, respite care, which is support for caregivers of frail elderly people, and also senior visiting services where we train and screen a volunteer visitor to go into the home every week of an isolated senior for companionship and just socialization. We also have counseling programs, general mental health counseling, and a specialized counseling program called child attachment therapy. The focus of that program is to support children who were abused or neglected early in life so that they can develop healthy bonds and have a good and satisfying life with their families that adopt them later on. So we have a number of programs available on Brown Street, all the ones that I listed. We love being in that location because it's visible, it's accessible, and we've been able to bring together quite a few of our own programs and then work in partnership with other organizations to help meet those needs in the communities for services for children and families primarily. We have an office in Sydney. In our Sydney office, our largest staffing group is it's about 40 staff people who work in the arena called Passport. Here in Dayton, it's the Area Agency on Aging. If you're familiar with, provide home care services for seniors. North of here, it is Catholic Social Services provides the Passport array of services, and at any one time in our counties north of here, we have about 1,100 seniors receiving our care management services so that they can stay safely in their homes, where they would rather be with their families in their communities and avoid unnecessary nursing home placement. If we can bring in home delivered meals, home health aides, social work support, home modifications, we can bring in those kinds of supports to their home, they can stay home. It's really, really a win-win, not only for the senior but for their family and the community, so that their seniors stay safe and living where they would like to live. Also, in our Sydney office, we have some counseling programs, early childhood intervention programs, and it's really it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to serve in the rural communities, of our great region to be working in the Sydney office. Finally, we have an office right on the corner, off the corner of Riverview and Edwin C. Moses, right behind the McIntosh Park, just a close walk here from the Masonic Center. We have our administrative headquarters are there. It is our administrative main office. But we also have a very important program for the community, and that's our emergency food pantry. Last year, we served over 18,500 people in our emergency food pantry. We are responsible for, zip codes and neighborhoods around our office on the inner west side of Dayton, and so it's an important program to make sure that there are no families and no children going hungry at night. So it's a very high program in terms of activity. Since 2008, requests for emergency food have been up 40%. I should share, and maybe one of the most instructive numbers to share is that in the last year, and the year before that, and the year before that, it's about 20% first-time visitors. And what that tells me is that folks who were never expecting to be seeking help of an emergency food pantry are coming for help. And beyond the the immediate need for the food, we also provide wraparound support services in case management, person-centered case management, so that we can be taking a look at what other kinds of needs are evident in the family and help them to reach their self-sufficiency goals. Underemployment and unemployment are, great issues in our community still, and we have excellent organizations working to bring jobs back for everyone, and we're very, very pleased to be in good partnership with all of those organizations. And until then, we know that we have an important role to make sure that the folks in our neighborhoods are not going hungry, especially the kids. It's about 40% of the people served are children. So that is the program that is in the Riverview office. We're renovating it right now. The food bank has been wonderfully generous to invite us to be providing food services at their site during our renovation period to assure no disruption of services for people in need. So we will be back in the pantry at the end part of May. We're very excited about that because we'll have a much better facility, better equipped to meet the needs, as they are right now in our community, is in terms of being the largest, busiest, only choice pantry that's open every day, Monday through Friday. So all of those programs are how we live out our mission. It's a wonderful organization, and I appreciate the opportunity to share just a little bit about it. Right now, would invite any questions or any phone calls afterward if there's something that you're curious about that I did.